my favorite plants of April. Look at all of them! Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, my name is Rose, my pronouns are she, her, and we're gonna talk about my beautiful plants, the favorite ones of April. And I thought, why not start very large this time with my Anthurium crystallinum, named Chris, who has a ton of leaves back here as well. They're all facing one way because light. This was the last leaf that was a little bit damaged because of the renovation coming out through that. And it is growing a new leaf that is incredible. It is still floppy, so it's gonna get even bigger, luckily. Especially if you look at the petiole, that is a lot thicker. Well, a little bit thicker than the previous one. It was also growing an inflorescence, but I broke that off because I have no interest in making seeds with this one. Actually, I've never made seeds at home here with my plants because it takes a lot of energy and I prefer the beautiful floppy leaves. By the way, the last few months I've been picking plants that were starting to grow again and it was a little bit hard to pick. This month I finally am able to show you full growing leaves, beautiful plants, and I actually had a little bit of difficulty picking between plants because I had so many that spark joy at the moment, so that is very cool. Next up is this Hoya Clemensiorum that I got from Mout, and I picked this one because, look, it's immediately growing a new leaf, and there's another baby leaf here, and the tendril is super long. It seems to really like it in my house, even though it just moved, was in a box for a day, and I love Clemensiorum a lot, so it's very cool. Thank you, Mout, again. Next up, I picked my splendid Spencer because he has a stunning new leaf. Look at this. It's so big I have to step back to show you properly, and the colors are incredible. I love splendids, and I had a cutting of it in water that I put on a moss pole recently. Actually, 2 cuttings are on a moss pole. And this one also has a beautiful new leaf. So now I have 2, and I'm really hoping I can size them all up, make them bigger. There's a tiny baby here in the side as well that's hopefully gonna grow. So it's a splendid jungle over here right now, and I love it. Quick upstairs break to show you a plant in here. I actually really like these plants as well, but they are currently covered in thrips. I don't know if you can see them, but I see a ton of adults just taking a quick glance. That's why they are not on the favorites list. It's my queen! I changed the setup so the light is a little bit better on this plant. Remember this queen? She is called Cleo. I had her in the big terrarium. I actually built the big terrarium specifically for her so that she could continue growing, but she was very sad. She was not growing. I pulled her out in, I think, end of January and potted her up in a pot. I think that's the main thing that they need more space for the roots because the pot in the terrarium is very small, and then also a more moisture holding soil. There's water dripping. Immediately when I moved her into the box, like within a few weeks, she started to grow a new leaf, and it is this one. It is still a little bit floppy, as you can see. I love it, so it might get a little bit bigger. It's a bit smaller than the previous leaf, but that makes sense after a period of stress. Look at the beautiful ears, the lobes. I am very happy that she's growing again. I just have to figure out how to either grow her properly in my terrarium or maybe let her live in normal room conditions, because I want to see those leaves. They're so beautiful. So thank you, Queen Cleo, for coming back and for blessing us with this stunning leaf. Next up is a very small one, and it looks a little bit sad because I just propagated it, but it is this begonia. Does it want to focus? There we go. Look at it. This is begonia tropialifolia affinity metallica, which is endangered, which is what that thing means. My friend Aaron gave these to me and he told me that I am now their guardian. I have to take really good care of them. And they've been growing really well in this little box of moss. There's more leaves back here. And so they actually apparently love to crawl and climb in terrariums. That's why I have this cutting now. I just took it out because I cut it recently, so it's not rooted yet. But I'm gonna have this crawl up and then maybe plant it in my in my big terrarium. I'm looking at the screen thingy all the time over there because it's so stunning. And it is a little bit light over here. Now that it's getting less light, I think it's gonna get even darker and more stunning. By the way, it's a pretty cool tank at the moment with some very special cuttings. And this one has moved in here now and it's growing so much better than before because the lid was on it and it's definitely outgrowing it. All the begonia friends and the micravia. I remember seeing this for the first time on Instagram, I think at Maggie's account, Vagina Begonia, and I was just like, oh. It's very delicate though, so I'm gonna quickly put this back in the terrarium. Next up, this is the plant that inspired me to film today because my Hoya obovata opened its flowers. I actually made a time lapse of the opening and I'm so happy to have it back. It smells so nice. My plant was super sad for a long time and then I finally got it to grow again. There's tendrils here. There's a new peduncle here as well, actually, two. And there's some new baby leaves coming. And then it also started budding up, so I was very, very excited. It's a little bit harder to see here, but the flowers start off light pink and then a little bit dark pink in the middle. And then as it gets older, the middle becomes very, very dark burgundy. So I really, really love this one. Also the little velvetness of the petals. It is such a cool Hoya, and I'm so excited that it is happy again. The last plant I want to show you here is gonna be a little bit hard work for me, but we're gonna do it. Cause look, this, actually, let's start over here. This is an older leaf of my philodendron Plaumani. Then we had this leaf come out during the renovation. There's some crispy older leaves there. And it grew this new leaf. There is no damage on it. Well, little spots, but like no crispiness like the other ones. I love the veins on it. It's a little bit bleached because the sun is starting to come out more. So this has to move back from my south-facing windowsill. I love this plant so much. If you want to try a crawler, I definitely love this one. Especially because the petioles are ruffly. And I've told you this many times before, but the pink ruffly petioles and then the pillowy heart-shaped leaves with dark veins. Absolutely love Philodendron Plaumani. Yeah. Okay, let me put this back because it's heavy. Let's continue upstairs where Maggie is chilling because I have some cool plant updates here as well. Actually, there's quite a few more that I wanted to add to this list, like this beautiful blackjack, but I'm gonna show you them in an update video comparing how I got them to how they are now, and I'm gonna do that with several hauls that I did. So that is why they didn't make the official list, but this little one did. Actually, it's not so little anymore. Look at this, whoa. This is my Anthurium Wenlingeri that I bought as a tiny, tiny plant. I think this definitely will enjoy a repot. After this leaf has hardened, I will give it to him. But look at the size difference. So wait, the last leaf was this, which I was already very impressed with. And now the next leaf is this. And it's not even hardened off yet, although it's a little bit hardened, but not all the way. It is quite a lot lighter. It almost looks yellow. I'm out of breath. Sorry. I think this happened from a lot of light because I had it up next to my grow lights and I've moved it down since. I've learned that Anthurium often grow bigger leaves if they have less light. That's my theory, at least. It's not anything scientifically proven, I think. But I'm very, very excited with how fast this is sizing up, becoming just way too tall for the pot, even though I have it on little legs. And I'm excited to see what it does, because look, do you see all those roots at the bottom? Once I repot this into a slightly larger pot, I think it's gonna size up even more quickly. And then we might have to find it a hanging solution because, well, I guess it can live on the shelf a little bit longer, but it's gonna touch our heads when we are sleeping. So very, very happy with this. Next up, we have my Thai giant. This is Leucocasia gigantea Thai giant, and it's the one that I've showed you before at the botanical gardens that gets huge. So I'm very excited. This was the biggest leaf we had. It recently opened and now it's already making another leaf. So it's definitely enjoying spring in the south facing window. We even repotted it a few weeks ago and already the roots are growing towards the bottom. So we're gonna continue to repot this throughout the summer, give it plenty of fertilizer and water, and we'll move it outside once it gets really nice and warm here, which it's not yet. It's about 5 degrees outside at the moment when we had 25 just a few weeks ago, so that's a bit depressing. But these plants are definitely feeling the spring vibes. One other honorable mention before we get to the last plant is my little ping jar, because they are so beautiful. I am definitely making a ping wish list situation. I'm gonna try and collect a few more, and I'm so excited to see them growing. Ah, it looks like diamonds or sparkles on the leaves. They are so pretty, and they're getting sun stressed too. And the last plant I'm showing you today is Ferry, because he has grown several big new leaves. He's doing really well. I actually just noticed that there is another point. So let's take a quick closer look. The fastest growing part of the plant is the mama plant, which was the base. And this is that new leaf he grew and opened recently. It's mostly white actually. There's a lot, but it looks beautiful. Then over here on the side, we have another new leaf. This was the top cutting. So big leaves already, but it grew very slowly. And again, it's very white actually, now that I'm looking at it a little bit closer. So that is beautiful, but also we do like a little bit of green in our leaves. And then lastly, over here is a small stem cutting that I planted. The last leaf it grew was this one, which is very nice and mottled. That's definitely a healthy plant. And I just noticed that there is a new point on that as well, so it's growing again. This plant has been growing so fast, and I really love it. It's making me so happy to see all these beautiful new leaves, all the cool different variegation. It's like a surprise with every new leaf. You don't know what it's gonna look like, and I love that. This plant definitely has a special place in my heart. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe below if you haven't already, leave a nice comment. And you can join my Patreon and YouTube membership if you want. Big thank you to all the people who support me on there. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!